Could not be more excited about our next guest. Two of the world's biggest stars. Dave Chappelle celebrated his 30th anniversary as a comedian this year with an epic 16-show residency at Radio City Music Hall. He did 2 Netflix stand-up specials already earlier this year, one of which was their most watched comedy special of all time. Tonight he has 2 new stand-up specials debuting on Netflix. I watched both of them today, titled Equanimity and The Bird Revelation. John Mayer, of course, is the multi-Grammy winning singer who's topped the charts, sold millions of albums around the globe. And Dave and John join us now live from the Forum in Inglewood, California, the latest stop on their Controlled Danger tour. Guys, happy New Year's Eve. Thank you so much for being with us. Thanks, Dave. John, how are you doing?
Happy New Year. Good, how you guys doing? Hey,
Good.
Andy, hey, Anderson.
Happy New Year.
Hey, Johnny. It's so cold here. You have no idea. You guys look so comfortable. We're good.
So Dave, congratulations on the 2 new...
Yeah, it's so LA. I can't handle it.
Congratulations on the 2 shows that just appeared on Netflix. Both Andy and I watched them today. They're so amazing. Much. What are your... Do you have, like, as you look back on the year, what are your best and worst things you think from 2017?
One of my favorite things in 2017 was Black Thought's freestyle on Hot 97 Funk Flex. And one of my least favorite things was the passing of Dick Gregory. Not to be a bummer.
An amazing guy. I mean, yeah. What an incredible career and an incredible civil rights icon. He's really a remarkable guy. I got to ask you about your tour. You guys are touring together. Now, Dave, you and I were in D.C., I don't know, a couple of years ago, and you were kind of perplexed that Andy Cohen and I do a stage show together. What do you and John Mayer do on stage together? How does that work?
Whoa. Johnny, want to take this one?
Yeah, it's not the loftiest of questions. I start out playing my music. I do about half an hour. I hand it off to Dave. He does a half an hour, 40 minutes of stand-up, and then he brings me back out. And we sort of have what I think other people have described as sort of just like a hangout. It's like a party. It's like it's best described as like being in a room at a house party where a couple people get together and they hang out and everyone has a great time.
It's damn near like a very expensive piano bar.
Right. And it's great. It's called Controlled Danger, and that's what it's all about, is riding the edge between what we're sure we know is going to work and what we're not sure is going to work.
Yeah, you know, at all these shows, we lock everybody's phones up, so we take a lot of chances on stage that a lot of celebrities might not want to take because of this cell phone culture, this gotcha culture. But we go hard in the paint, man. We have a good time. Thus the title, Controlled Danger.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Wait, do you have people check their phones when they come in? They're not allowed to have their phones there?
Well, they have them, but they're like in these bags. This company named Yonder makes these bags, so they lock the phones up. They can't, if they want to access their phones, they have to leave the showroom.
And I have to say this, every artist, every live performer who's come to see the show always says to me how jealous they are that the phones are locked up, because I think artists want to be able to have that experience as well. And I owe that to Dave. I've actually done some shows on my own just playing songs where the phones are locked up, because you can perform with a really honest heart without worrying about how it's going to read second, third, millionth time. You know, some moments get their power from the wash of memory. You know, memory is a good thing when it comes to not remembering every last little thing and walking away from something and saying, that was great, you know?
It's also got to be hard, Dave and John, when you look out in the audience and you see people just on their phones, holding up their phones, and they're not even necessarily being present, they're just kind of trying to record the moment as opposed to actually experience the moment and listen in it.
Yeah, it's this weird combination of being engaged yet wildly disengaged.
Yeah, I try to tell myself, however they want it, if that's how they want it, they bought the ticket. The one that annoys me, the only one that annoys me, is when someone in the front row turns around to do a picture of themselves with me in the background as I'm singing a song about, I'm singing from my heart and soul, and I'm being used as a cardboard background prop. That's the only one. If you're watching, you're going to come to a show in the next couple of years, don't turn your back to the artist in the front row.
That's a good rule of thumb. Hey, Dave, Jay-Z told the New York Times recently that he would vote for you for president, which made me start thinking, if you were president, what would your first official act be?
If I were president, what would my first official act be? That's a tough one, man. Man, I don't know. It's a huge. The if part of it is what makes it so extraordinary. That's a huge if.
Hey, I have one. I always, if I were president, I would have wet wipes in every stall for every American. Wet wipes.
Every weekend would be 3 days.
Wow. See?
Yes. Every weekend would be 3 days. I would fight tooth and nail for that.
We are live in Times Square, and we are joined in California with Dave Chappelle and John Mayer, who are performing tonight.
That's awesome.
See how it feels?
They're doing.
See how it feels?
I love it.
That's great. That's great.
That is so good. That is really good. John, you and I talk about this all the time. You know I love you on Twitter. You're so funny, and you've been on fire the last few months. Is there a tweet this year that you are proudest of?
Oh, my goodness. Is there a tweet this year that I was proudest of? Yeah, I wrote one about beauty. I wrote one about basically being loving as being a main part of being beautiful. And the retweets were crazy. I go back and forth between being very sincere and then being very jokey. But that one was a very sincere one about beauty and kindness and how they have to. You can't have one without the other. And people really resonated. That resonated with people. You can't resonate with something. Something has to resonate with you. You see what I mean?
I should tell you all, I'm not even on social media.
Well, I was about to ask you, Dave, what do you think of Twitter? It seems, to me, I basically dropped off. It seems really toxic to me. What do you think?
I literally made like maybe 5 or 6 tweets in my life, and then I got out of the business. This was years ago. I just knew it wasn't for me. I can't speak in small increments.
I think, if I may,
Dave,
I feel like the problem with Twitter is that it doesn't register the problem correctly. So there's a problem in the world, and what happens is Twitter seems to represent a certain repetition of the same problem that I think frustrates and annoys people faster than they need to be. And I think it doesn't give the right dimension to a problem when you read the reoccurrence of the thought of the problem so many times. I feel like Twitter logs multiple votes for problems, and I think everyone walks around, they carry this weight all day, and I think it's because of the way that these problems are accounted for. Do you know what I mean? You can feel the same problem occur over and over and over again because of reading tweets about it.
Now,
it's re-injury,
is
what I want to say.
Dave, you were trending all day on Twitter because people were watching you on Netflix and going crazy and loving it. Is there any part of you that has any desire to see what people are tweeting about or saying about your new specials?
Only if it's good. I don't want to read all those haikus of outrage.
There's a lot of that on
there definitely
on Twitter.
There definitely are. Hey, Johnny, who are you gonna smooch at midnight?
Yeah. I really haven't thought about it. I'm just really into. I don't know. Who should I?
I don't know. I mean, the LA is your oyster. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I didn't really think about that.
Okay, well, let me know.
Dave, have you ever been to Times Square for New Year's Eve?
You know, years ago I was playing Caroline's. Yeah, years ago I was playing Caroline's which is near Times Square, and almost couldn't get to the gig because there was so much chaos that winter. And it looks like it is about 4 degrees in Times Square.
It's so bad. It's crazy.
Our faces have frozen, which is why we're slurring.
Yes, it's really bad. You guys are performing tonight at the Forum. How are New Year's Eve audiences, by the way?
Well, they're more. You're more. I think you can feel that in terms of how New Year's Eve audiences are.
Well, this is my first New Year's Eve working in years. Normally I'd be home watching you guys. because the crowds get so drunk tonight. I mean, I don't know if you can hear this behind me, but they're already at it. It's going to be a swell time.
Yeah. Hey, John, what do you think the best song of 2017? Oh.
Yep, go ahead. Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
Oh,
sorry.
I said I was just going to surf the energy. That's my plan.
The best song of 2017. I have a hard time picking something better than like. Oh, thank you. That's one of my songs. Thank you, Andy. You're a company boy. I feel like Kendrick Lamar DNA is hard to beat as the best song of the year. That's pretty hard to beat. Yeah.
Hey guys, I know this is kind of a cheesy question, but Dave, after watching your specials today, I think you had a lot of important messages for people. I'm just wondering, both of you, do you guys have a message for people out there for the new year who are listening tonight? Dave?
Yeah, at all costs, no matter what is said, we should make a point to be decent to one another, and we'll get through anything, because that's all that really matters.
I agree.
John, how about you?
Yeah, I would like to see a little more reason, a little more exercise of reason. And I also feel like in the quest to make a better world at large, we are losing a little bit of the user experience from day to day. I hope there's a better balance next year between fighting and living. I think we're a little short on the living. I feel like the theoretical fight vacuum is getting a little bit, it's eating up a little too much actual lifetime.
Which is nothing that a 3-day weekend wouldn't fix.
And wet wipes for every American in every stall. That would be, I'm running on wet wipes 2020.
Chappelle, Mayer,
America runs on wet wipes.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year. It's so fun seeing you guys.
Always, man. God
have
bless.
A great show tonight.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, we wish you the best. Have a great year. Continued success.
Thank you. You guys too.
Happy
Happy New Year, America.